What is up? I'm Wanted Turtle, and today we have another PSA returns video. So these are all cards that were submitted for myself. We have roughly a little over 50 items, and the total cost of this submission was over $1,200 to me. So one of the themes, oh man, PSA just getting so expensive. But I feel like for myself, it is still the standard. But yeah, we'll get into it. So let's get into the returns going in basically submission order. And first we have a Japanese card. So pretty sure most of these are modern with some older cards that are pretty valuable. So we're starting off with the Tea Party Pikachu from the Kyoto Pokemon Center. And man, I love this art. I do have a playmat of this. I cannot find it. It's somewhere in my storage. But I will show it off once I can locate it. And yeah, just a very unique Pikachu. They're doing some kind of tea ceremony. And in case, or I am someone that is planning a wedding, and it's becoming a more card that I value more because someone that is planning some kind of tea ceremony for my own wedding. So now we have a English card, and it is a shiny Gyarados. I'm not familiar with exactly what set, so it's only a excellent 5, which is pretty disappointing, from the Heart Gold Soul Silver era. I imagine these cards are getting more expensive, and it's getting to a point where, man, I wish, back in 2018, I imagine where I picked up all the cards I do have from that era. I wish I picked up a lot more. This is a pretty vintage card. It's a e-reader Umbreon. This is non-holo Skyridge. Okay, so a PSA 8, very nice. It is non-holo, but hey, I feel like this is a great piece to add to any kind of evolution collection. Man, I bet the holo goes for quite a bit. We're jumping around all over the place. We got a Black Star promo, but the EX, I feel like I have a good amount of EX, but I don't think I have any PSA 10s. Would be kind of cool to finish that set. The art style is very different. I can't say I'm a huge fan. It looks as if it's from a N64 game or something. But we did get a near mint 7. Pretty happy with that. Southern Islands. I don't have any plans to complete the set, but I think it would be a nice to have at any PSA level, but PSA 5 is pretty disappointing. I find that just cards that I've had for a long time is it looks pretty good, so let me just submit it, but I'm not taking a close enough look because I feel like this thing is oh, this looks pretty good, should get at least a 7. I feel like any kind of vintage set with 7 or above is respectable. I feel like 5 is oh, I probably shouldn't have submitted that. All right, moving on. Man, the kind of the original alt arts or in tag team era, especially ones that were just promos. Man, I gave away or sold or whatever, traded so many tag teams I wish I didn't. This one's pretty cool. Charizard breaks in. Not the most popular tag team, but always solid to have the alt arts. And yeah, they were just promos, and this one did get the 10, so stoked about that. This is going to be the first of a few shout outs to Ty. Ty actually picked up a tournament, whatever collection of Marnie, which I wasn't able to get my hands on. He did send me the promos, but it's yeah, I don't think they're 10s. I didn't get them graded, so yeah, this one did come out as a 9. Very nice to have this in the collection. And it did include the full art Marnie as well. So yeah, shout out to Ty. I really appreciate you sending me those. And all right, at least this is not the evolution surfing Pikachu. So this is, oh, it's actually from a set. I assume there's gonna be a promo from Rising Rivals. Let's see, 114 out of 111. So it is, quote unquote, a secret rare. Only a 5, so definitely not a strong grade. But hey, that's a pretty unique card. Next we have Urshifu. I feel is kind of Eternatus, kind of the dogs, just, or the Sword and Shield dogs to be specific. They're supposed to be special. He's just not. This one is a little disappointing, especially with the 8s. I believe when Whatnot was first establishing itself, I did buy. It's all right, yeah, you get, I think it was, if you get, I think it was a full art mustard or something, you just win this ridiculous bounty. I didn't win it, but I did pull this card, which was awesome. So you know, it has a little bit of sentimental value, but for it to get an 8 is pretty disappointing. I feel like if anything, it's like, all right, if you didn't get the 10, it's like, all right, I guess I have a 9, but for it to get 8, I don't know, I feel like that's a pretty tough grade. I do like this art though, as far as the Urshifu. This feels like this is like the Spirit Bomb Urshifu, just like above his head, just, you know, generating this massive key ball or something. All right, this is just a mistake. Like, why was this graded? Where's the crease? There must be a crease or something that causes this to be a 6. I do like any tag team stuff at this point, especially things that are like alternate art or whatever. But obviously this is not an amazing grade at a 5. Pretty disappointing there. This is a pin collection, figure collection products. During when Sword and Shield first came out, they kind of had a Pikachu promo with the starters. I feel like that's kind of a standard thing now, but I feel like this was kind of like a niche product that was overlooked. So disappointing on the 9, because I feel like those are okay. And I think as far as sealed product goes, it's a pretty good product to hold on to. Here we have a Lost Thunder Lugia. Yeah, I feel like in some of these Sun and Moon sets that, you know, the hobby didn't blast off to what it is now. I do think it's worth grading it, but not for a 7. And here we have anything XY kind of falls in that category, especially these alt art kind of things. Yeah, disappointed on the 8. I feel like the centering, you can tell from here, is not perfect. So I was really hoping for a 9, and or like a OC. Like, that's pretty bad. But yeah, happy to add this to the collection. And yeah, I feel like just PSA is getting really tough on their grading. So, you know, I feel like CGC, I imagine, is gaining a lot of ground as far as just like the amount of stuff graded, and you know, prices like 10s are, I still think they're less than PSA 10s, but I think they're getting closer. So yeah, I'm curious if people have made the jump to CGC, and if so, why. This submission just costs so much, and it's not like there are a few cards that got upcharged significantly. This one, you know, it's fine. It's definitely not centered perfectly. I'm happy because this is probably a card that I had for a while, considering that's Burning Shadows, and still got the 9. I feel like, I don't know what qualifies as OC, but I feel like that's pretty bad just for centering. Always happy to add some more special delivery Charizards, only an 8, but wow, look at that centering. So bad. And now we're moving on to some more tins. A 9 on the Eevee Snorlax. Did grade a bunch of those. This is a very interesting card. I don't know too much about the Versus sets, but Charizard, I think it's like a common. You see like the circle there? And I'm not sure if there even is an unlimited edition of this set. I think I only have a few of these Versus cards. I think I have like a Suicune as well. And I think this is a Stormfront. Yep, Stormfront Secret Rare Charizard, using very similar, basically the base set art, like a different variant of the base set art. Only a PSA 6, which... but yeah, just my screening of the cards is not up to snuff, and I'm not expecting 10s by any means. I feel like anything I submit is like, oh, I imagine this would get at least a 7, so disappointing on that. And here we have a Gem Mint 10 special delivery Pikachu. This card's crazy. This was like the first special delivery. It was a free promo. You just had to buy something. So I did get a bunch of these, but yeah, the centering was horrendous. So happy to add 10s. This was actually upcharged to $19. I don't know off the top of my head, like, what is the declared value? And this one was upcharged huge. So like the bulk price, in case you didn't know, is like $15 for PSA now. Long turnaround time, but you know, most of the cards will only cost 15. This is a ultra shiny Charizard GX. These are going for, I think, at least like 1,000. So this was upcharged all the way to $75, which is, I mean, for their declare value process, like, I guess, you know, it is what it is. So it's kind of annoying sometimes for it to cost so much to get it encapsulated. But yeah, happy to add more of these to the collection. I've had sold a few of these just to kind of like help finance the hobby because they are doing well. And we actually have, oh, okay, we don't have another one. This one only is a near mint 7. Very disappointing. Like, anything Japanese that's modern, that is, it's like, all right, I didn't get the 10, but like if you don't got a 9, it's, you know, borderline mistakes. Like, oh, maybe this is a good binder copy or something. But we did get not 1 but 2 more 10s. So each of these costs $75 to grade. Just, yeah, it's price of admission at this point for PSA is so high. And we're actually going to go over some jumbo cards, which is, you know, long spoiler, just don't do it. It's not worth it. Always happy to grade some more base set Charizards. At this point, what's left in my raw collection is definitely below 7, so 5's not surprising anymore. Here we have a very nice card, but look at that, it is superbly beat up. It is a Gold Star Charizard. Very nice. It's kind of like, you know, the theme of these shiny Charizards. I'm pretty sure, like, this dark color, I think it's supposed to be like a shiny. So it is only a very good 3, which I would not argue the point. The weird thing about the anything like 3 through 5, maybe, or no, it's like 3 and 4 for sure, even 2. I feel like there's a market for 1s. I don't think that applies to 2 through 4, maybe even 5. So it's a weird situation to get 3. Like, this is very, like, whether the difference between 1, 2, or 3, like, I have no idea. 1 is probably just fold the card in half and you got a 1 if you had like a 2, but it's very ironic. I feel like there's a bigger market for 1s than these 2 3s. So very strange. I think that's just something that grows organically in the market, where it's like, maybe I guess a 1 is more fun to show off than a 3. And I doubt there's many people that go through like a 1 through 9 or 1 through 10 kind of collection kind of thing. But yeah, super iconic card, man. I wish I picked up more of these. And yeah, it's a 3. I won't argue that. All right, we're moving on to some very modern stuff. The 151 promos. At this point, anything that's a 9 is a disappointment. But definitely the winner, the main card from that product is this beautiful Mew. I was happy with that 10. Here we have a very unique card. Not super unique card, but a card that I opened probably in 2019 when this card came out. This is the alternate art of Solgaleo Lunala featuring... Pretty sure that's Lily. But anyway, this is from Dream League. Unfortunately, only got the 9, but I think, actually, shoutouts to Ty again. Actually, that's not the case. But anyway, shoutouts to Ty. I did open a box of Dream League that I purchased for the channel, and I just opened it for kicks. Hey, we can get an early look at the cards, but then some of, like, yeah, Japanese just doing very well, especially some of these unique cards has any kind of like waifu in it. So I decided to get that graded. Unfortunately, I was hoping for the 10. Here we have definitely one that I was really happy to pull from Remix Bouts, and the Alt Art Charizard or Blastoise Piplup. As far as alt arts go, nothing crazy, but happy to get any kind of Blastoise graded. Moving back to 151, we got the Venusaur alternate arts. Unfortunately, it's got a 9. I think this is a good candidate to crack open. Actually, I pulled another one. Maybe, I'm not sure if I would wait to get that graded. That looks like it's a PSA 10 candidate. And basically, I intend to have a nice 3x3 display case of raw cards to have all the starters. Yeah, and I think like, yeah, one of these will become the Venusaur one. Obviously the lower grade. We did get a, oh wait, this is, okay, I hate, man, PSA, there's just, yeah, CGC versus PSA, like PSA just, I feel like they could be doing a better job. They're not helping themselves. Like, what is this, what is the naming of this set? Mew English? Oh, it's terrible. It doesn't even say 151. It's mind-boggling. And then like, until you know that, searching for that in their search functionality is so painful. But I digress. I graded this Venusaur for some reason. I'm kind of surprised I did, but hey, we got the 10. So can't complain about that. Here we have the War Turtle. Man, I cannot snag these 10s, so maybe this guy needs to get cracked open too for that that nice display. Huge fan of this card, and I'm happy to get the 10. The Machoke Moving Company. Like these unique kind of alt arts, especially when like I envision it like, you know, I think when people like just the concept of Pokemon, it's like, oh yeah, you know, you train him, he's your buddy, he helps you out, and then like stuff like this, like the what comes to mind is like the Leafeon from Evolving Skies, or he's like helping like a farmer or something. I love stuff like that. Here we have, yeah, we'll get the Snorlax graded. Very disappointed to not get the 10 at this point. It's like, yeah, 9 is not worth anything, especially when it's not even the PC version. Alex Sam. Actually, these cards are pretty expensive raw. I'm very surprised and happy with how 151 is holding up for raw cards, especially with all like the TikTok sales. Just the prices are ridiculously low. But yeah, disappointed this one got the 9. I think I have at least one more copy that is worthwhile to submit to PSA. Same thing with the Tangela. I do like this art. They're kind of like swinging around. And then the Mr. Mime is another good one. Oh, guys, this is painful. It's like you pull the Charizard, you're so happy. It gets an 8? What? I mean, actually, that center is pretty bad. But 8? I don't know. PSA is just, it's tough. It's so hit or miss. So, you know, if CGC is gaining ground, I understand. Maybe at some point I should start dabbling in CGC grading. All right, we got some of the metal cards. They do grade the metal cards. You can kind of see like I don't like this, you know, but you know, they stopped grading metal cards for a while. Maybe this is the way to protect it. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say like, I don't like that, but that's why it is like that. I'm just making an assumption. But yeah, happy to add the 10. You know, I think the print quality was better compared to the Celebrations one. They're not all perfect. This one, ooh, an 8. It's a little rough. And then we got another 10, followed by a 9. So yeah, 151 product. UPC is just when you can get it for like, I don't know, less than $80 shipped on TikTok. I think those are done. But man, that was fun. All right, we do have 8 more cards, and these are jumbo cards. Shout out to Ty. He wanted to grade this card, and he actually sent me some like sleeves to send them in. And I bet those were expensive, and I put a request into the submission saying, these things are expensive. Can you send me back? Send them back to me. And while I have no intention of grading more jumbo cards because it's ridiculously expensive, and I don't think the market is there right now for it, yeah, they didn't send it back to me. So I was like, come on, guys. You're not helping me. All right, so yeah, shout out to Ty. This was a card that he submitted. Yeah, but I feel like over time, this whole Snorlax thing, I feel like there are certain VMAXs like Meowth that will just get more iconic over time. And I think Snorlax fits under that category. Actually, I think Charizard will just be, you know, it's just another Charizard, but like I feel like the VMAX is nothing special. But the Snorlax is so funny. There's like a whole like landscape developing on his belly, including this huge tree. So I feel like that's awesome. Unfortunately, got the 9. And I don't know, just jumbo cards are just tough. Maybe that's what did it, these nicks. But like the sleeves are just not handy. So even if you do put them in sleeves that are very expensive, but like you'll still have, you know, similar just quality issues. So I feel like 10s are very hard to get, which is not a bad thing. But then the market is just not there. And like the cost to grade these is $40 per card. So it's very expensive. Let's see what else we graded. So this is actually it's kind of a funny story. So just like, oh, this is unique art, very cute. Let me pick these up. I picked up a bunch on eBay, and then it's like, all right, let me get some that I think could get a 10. I didn't realize this was a jumbo card when I ordered it. I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck is this? So that was just a mistake. But then, hey, you know what? You can grade jumbo cards. Fortunately, we still got the 9. But hey, at least it's unique. But yeah, I don't think there's just not a market for these, especially when the cost of entry $40, just not worth it. Lancer Charizard, I feel like not hard to obtain. At least it's got the 10, so very happy with that. And yeah, very solid art. But yeah, like for this too, I kind of doubt, you know, to get a 10, which is very difficult, a starting cost of $40 plus the card. And you know, I don't know what these are going for, but I think there's just not a market for them. And so we did do the Pikachu. I don't know how I feel about this card, like how iconic it is. It is unique, but all the different styles, I feel like it helps it, but it also hurts it in a way. Cause it's just kind of hard to, it's not as like pleasing to the eye when it's just all these different art styles. So happy to get the 10. In fact, I think we got 2 of them. But yeah, just I don't have a ton of faith in the longevity or the long-term value of it. We did have one of these evolutions that looked pretty good. Unfortunately, got the 9, so very disappointed with that. And I would say this is the one I'm most happy with. So did get the 10. and this is a not a, you know, so there was the super premium collection that came with a Rayquaza like statue, and then there was, I think, I want to say it was like the Walmart version, or basically there was a different version, had less packs, didn't have the statue, but instead had the jumbo card. And I feel like this was a more rarer product, less available. I think it could have went under the radar. I think like similar with the tins, like there was basically you had the tins, and then there were variants that had the jumbo card. I think it was like a Walmart exclusive, at least for that one. So I'm not sure about this one if it was Walmart exclusive, but anyway, my point is it's kind of a lesser known, lesser available product from Hidden Fates, and it got to 10, and it cost $40 to grade it, and it's still not worth that much. And that's what I mean. The market just isn't there. So I don't recommend doing jumbo cards. Maybe there are some that are worth doing, just like very vintage stuff, like Legendary Collection or something like that. But unless it's not that, it's like modern stuff that, you know, I don't even think it's worth just to get it encased for protection. Like the cost is just too high. And last one, we had a you know, just an old product in as far as like modern goes. But I do feel like this was, I don't know, a product that I just remember seeing a lot of when I first got back into the hobby, and didn't think anything of it. It's like, oh, it's just a $20 box with a jumbo card. But now anything from that time like is sought after as far as sealed goes. And last thing we'll just talk about is like the slab itself. It is kind of like thin compared to the pack, but pack versus a card, I guess that's understandable. But yeah, not a huge fan of it. If I feel like I don't, the label, it's the same as everything. Like I think even the packs have the same, but because of like they use the same one, there's just like a lot of empty space here. And it's I'm not gonna pull one down, but like if you ever had like held a CGC comic slab, basically they have something across the whole thing. And I feel like that just looks better. So I feel like I understand it, you know, just use the same label. And it has like, you know, the same, like everything locks in place when you stack it. But yeah, I feel like I just don't have many good things to say about this service. It's just expensive, although the slab is bigger, so maybe that's warranted, but you know, the market just isn't there for at least these kind of cards. So definitely wouldn't recommend it. But I'm glad I did it once just to get this experience. But yeah, so all these cards again cost over $1,200 to get graded. It's just so expensive. So I'm curious where people are at PSA versus CGC. I feel like CGC is grading a lot of ground, but curious how other people feel about it. But yeah, kind of like to summarize, happy with some of the Charizard grades. Always cool to have more gold stars graded. Less so about these jumbo cards, but yeah, let me know what your comment or thoughts are in a comment down below. Thanks for watching. I'm Turtle. Catch y'all next time. Peace.